Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're diving into something really important for many international families in Singapore, the AEIS, or the admissions exercise for international students. Whether you're planning to move to Singapore or you've been living here for a while, this video is your complete guide to understanding the AEIS process. Plus, I'm going to share our own personal journey, the challenges we faced, how we prepared, and what finally worked for us. What is AEIS? The AEIS is an entrance test for international students who want to join mainstream primary or secondary schools in Singapore. It's managed by Singapore's Ministry of Education, MOE, and is designed to assess English literacy and mathematics skills. Students can apply for entry into Primary 2 to Primary 5 and Secondary 1 to Secondary 3. While the exam is typically held around September, registration usually opens in July. But here's my personal advice: check the MOE website early, around June, because sometimes registration opens earlier than expected. And take note, AEIS registration is on a first-come, first-served basis, so once slots are filled, they will close registration early. After you've registered, you'll receive updates via email, including the exam date and location. Here's a quick overview of the AEIS process. Apply to take the AEIS tests. Take the exam. Receive the results. If successful, report to the allocated school and start the new academic year. Remember, admission is not guaranteed. It's based on your child's test performance and availability of school slots, especially in your declared residential area. New AEIS format for primary students, post-2022. This part has changed a bit recently. If you're applying for primary level, your child now needs to take a Cambridge English Qualifications (CEQ) test first, before they can take the AEIS mathematics paper. Here's how that process looks. Step 1. Take the CEQ test. Book a CEQ test at a Cambridge authorized center in your country. Take it about 12 months before the AEIS application deadline. Choose the paper or computer-based test suitable for your child's age. Step 2. Receive the CEQ result. Your child must meet the required CES score. Upload this during your AEIS online application. You can check the required CES score on the MOE website. Step 3. Apply for AEIS Maths test. If your child qualifies, apply through the Candidates Portal, CP. Once approved, download the entry proof and get ready for test day. Step 4. Release of results. You'll be notified if your child is offered a place in a school. Make sure to report to the school within the given time frame, or the spot might be given to someone else. How to prepare for AEIS. Now, let's talk about how to prepare, and this is where I'd like to share a bit of our story. Our background: our family has been living in Singapore for almost 15 years. During our early years here, we didn't manage to apply for residency. That made things difficult when it was time for my son to enter primary school, because there are limited slots for foreign students. When my son finished preschool, he didn't get a spot for primary 1. So we enrolled him in a private school, which was really expensive. Eventually, we decided to prepare him for the AEIS exam. Understanding what's tested. To get your child ready for AEIS, it's important to know what the exam covers. For AEIS primary, your child needs to be familiar with mathematics topics taught in mainstream Singapore schools for the level just before the one they're applying for. For example, if your child wants to enter Primary 3, they should revise Primary 2 content. For AEIS secondary, students are tested in both English and mathematics. Again, the syllabus will follow the mainstream curriculum, so your child should revise content from the level just before the one they're applying for. For example, if applying for Secondary 3, review Secondary 2 topics. The best way to prepare is to refer to Singapore's official primary school and O-level syllabuses. They give you a good idea of what the test expects. Our preparation journey. When my son was in kindergarten 2, we enrolled him at Cumin. The beginning was tough. He had to complete worksheets daily, and there were a lot of tears. But over time, he developed discipline and study habits. Later, we moved him to a MOE-based tuition center to prepare more specifically for the AEIS. I'll share the name of this center shortly, but before that, I want to say, tuition is helpful, but it can be very expensive, especially if your child attends multiple times a week. What worked for us, once a week tuition, plus lots of home practice. I bought many different workbooks and references. Don't rely on just one resource. Expose your child to various question types. The key is consistency. Tuition is useful, but it won't cover everything. Practicing every day really makes the difference. Choosing the right tuition center. The tuition center we chose is called Nanyang Consultancy Center. What I liked about them, they give every child an assessment test first. Lessons are tailored to each student's weak areas. After each session, you can talk to the teachers about your child's progress. This really helped us target what my son needed to improve on. If you're considering other centers, make sure your child feels comfortable with the environment, the teacher, and the syllabus. Release of outcome. Once your child has taken the AEIS test, the next big step is waiting for the results. The admission outcome is typically released online around December via the candidates portal. Placement depends on your child's performance and the level they applied for. For example, if your child is currently in Primary 3 and takes the AEIS in September, they are applying for Primary 4 admission in the next academic year starting in January. If they pass the test, they may be placed directly into Primary 4. However, in some cases, they may be required to repeat Primary 3 or be placed in Primary 2, depending on their test results. The same applies for secondary levels. For instance, if your child applies for Secondary 2 and passes, they will be posted to Secondary 3 by January of the next school year, but if their performance falls short, they might be placed in Sec 1 instead. And if your child doesn't meet the passing mark, the result will be unsuccessful, which means they're not offered a place in a local school at that time. But there's still another chance. They can apply for the supplementary AEIS. Registration usually opens in January. The exam is held in February. The content and format are the same as the AEIS, but you'll need to pay a new fee. Do note, the school posting is final. Requests to transfer schools or view detailed test results will not be considered. Recommended timing. Here's my personal opinion. It's best to take the AEIS as early as possible, ideally during Primary 1, 2, or 3. Why? Because from Primary 6, students must take the PSLE, and one of the subjects is Mother Tongue, Mandarin, Malay, or Tamil. If your child doesn't speak any of those, it'll be tough. Schools might recommend a foundation program, but by then, it might be too late. Plus, AES exams are harder at the upper primary level. So starting early gives your child a much better chance. School fees for international students. Let's talk about school fees, something every parent needs to consider when planning for AEIS. The monthly school fees include both the school fees and miscellaneous fees, and the amount will depend on your child's nationality and the type of school they're placed in. For Singapore citizens and permanent residents, the fees exclude GST because the government subsidizes the GST. But for international students, the fees are inclusive of GST, so expect the total to be a bit higher. To get an accurate estimate, you can visit the MOE website and use their school fee checker tool. It's very helpful and up to date. Make sure to check the fee structure early, so you can prepare your budget accordingly. Recommended books for AEIS preparation. Now I want to share some of the books and practice materials that really helped us during our AEIS preparation. These resources made a big difference, especially when we were doing a lot of home-based revision. Conquer series. The first one I highly recommend is the Conquer series. What I really like about these books is that they're topic-focused. Each book usually covers around 3 to 4 main topics in depth. For example, one book might focus on measurement, volume, time, and money. Another might cover geometry, area, perimeter, and bar graphs. What's great about this structure is that students get lots of focused practice papers just on those specific topics. Unlike some worksheets that try to cover everything with only a few questions per topic, the Conquer series provides more depth and challenging questions for each area. Nanyang exam papers. Next is the Nanyang exam papers. These are based on materials from one of the top schools in Singapore, and they're very well constructed. The questions are usually challenging and structured like actual school exams, which is great if you want your child to get used to the format and difficulty level of AEIS type questions. Casco workbooks. Lastly, I'd recommend the Casco series. One thing I really like about Casco books is that before each practice paper, they include brief topic summaries and review notes. This gives students a quick revision before diving into the worksheets, especially useful if they need a refresher. They also include worked examples, and the answer sheets come with full solutions, so your child can better understand how to solve each problem, not just whether their answer is right or wrong. Remember, no single book is enough. I suggest mixing different books and practice sets so your child is exposed to a wide variety of question types. And more importantly, go for quality over quantity. Choose books that help your child build understanding and confidence, not just drill through pages. AEIS can be tough, but with the right support and consistent effort, your child can succeed. Every step you take matters, just keep going. Believe in the process, and trust that progress will come with time. You're not alone, many families are walking this journey too. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. I'll do my best to reply. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. Wishing you and your child all the best on the AEIS journey. You've got this.